The most important thing that you need in a house is love. I did not have that.
Good morning, how are you?
Get a trash bag. We'll start on this side.
I never planned on becoming the mayor. And then I just realized we always want to affect change. You actually can't do that from the sidelines. You have to be willing to sit at the table.
This is actually the county's job, but after a while you get tired of asking, you just do it yourself.
I grew up in Florence, South Carolina. I would say probably until I was 5, I had a great life. My parents danced in the dining room, and my father owned his own company, and my mom was a school teacher. And then shortly after that, life changed. My mother suffers from severe mental illness. Their marriage had quite a bit of strain to it. Eventually, my father would leave the home. The majority of my time I lived with my mother, who had the mental illness, and so it was not a good time. It was rife with abuse and neglect and eviction notices. I learned early on the importance of housing and what stability meant. The people that were my saving graces were my school teachers. They all poured into me. I had all of my credits by the time I was 15, and I went to college when I was 16. And so it just was really important to me to not ever have to go back to such a toxic living environment. And I graduated from college and moved to DC. I never looked back. I started off my political career asking this question. I just said, what do I need to do to get a fence at Boyd Park? Because there's no fence here, and the kids keep playing, running the street, and somebody's gonna kill them. 2 years later, I kept saying, what does it take for me to get a fence at Boyd Park? Nobody could answer that question. I said, well, how much does it cost? Can I pay for the fence? Nobody can answer this question. And I finally said, you know what? People keep asking me to run for office. I was told I would be uncontested when I ran as a council member. It ended up being the most contested race in the history of town. 4 men ran against me, and I won. And the first thing I did when I got in office was put a fence up at Boyd Park, because all it takes is a vote. You just have to be at the table and be willing to do your work. When you get there, you can affect people's lives. You know, it's an incredible thing, politics. It really is about effecting change. And so I make sure I try to do is assure everybody, everyone here has value, no matter who you are. We managed to include some more sidewalks. We've spent several millions of dollars mitigating water throughout town, which was a chronic issue. For the first time in what appears to be the history of the town, we've gone and asked for a bond bill for $3 million to pay for a building that will be named after the first African-American who was on town council. And that's highlighted by getting the slave plantation that was on our town seal off. People have been waiting for 30 years to take that plantation off of our seal, and we did it overnight.
Kayce's gonna conquer the world. To negotiate with kindness takes a bit of tact, and she's able to get her point across, but also not insult anybody.
My underlying belief is I have to be able to tell my son, this is what mommy did when she wasn't with you. It wasn't for an ego. It wasn't for pomp and circumstance. It was because mommy was doing something to make life better for you or somebody else. We've accomplished a lot. I want to make sure that while we expand our town, it still feels like you came someplace like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Someplace where people know you, care about you, and will look out for you.
So we're gonna do our share, okay? We're gonna clean up, okay? You want some gloves?
Yeah.
Because of my childhood, I'm an empath, which means I can feel other people's pains. What does that look like with my hat on as the mayor? Well, if I'm getting evicted, then I'm calling every number to figure out Catholic Charities who can help me. And I'm calling with you because I know what it feels like to be evicted. My biggest fear going into this was people would not know. The joy of my heart is to make dinner for people, feed them, and they all go to sleep. That's how I express my love. If I can love on you, I want to, right? Because it's what I wish somebody would have done for me. I have to show up, I have to speak, and I have to not be afraid of what you think about me, because I got 7,000 people that are expecting me to do my job.